let's go right.
Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is the second day of the Motorstyle mountain training in Taunus. The route we'll be riding today is 270 kilometers and it will take us all day. I will pop it here up the screen. And the goal for today is to continue where we left off yesterday and improve the riding in the mountains. And you might be wondering why I'm doing a voiceover instead of using the helmet cam. I had some GoPro issues with the helmet cam, which means that I lost the majority of the introduction and the voiceovers on the actual video because the helmet cam froze after 20 seconds, and that has to do with the amount of water that we had yesterday. Too bad. The other reason that I'm doing a voiceover is that it took me a bit of time to find my groove at the start of the day, and that has to do with two things. First of all, my dad crashed yesterday after the first stop when we went back on the highway. There was a lot of rain yesterday and a lot of water on the road, and when he entered the highway, his rear wheel slided out and basically caused him to crash. He got away unscathed with a few bruises and bumps, but he was very lucky. But the bike was not so lucky, which means that the trip ended for him yesterday already. And the other thing is, when we want to leave this morning, Luke's bike didn't start anymore. Further examinations showed that his starter was only held on by 1 volt, which means that the moment he starts, the starter doesn't engage the engine and the bike won't start. Which, combined is a bit of made the weekend turn out in a bit of a slapstick show in that respect. And it took me a bit of time to digest it and get back into the groove. Now, if you look at the weather, at the moment still quite foggy. It's about 15-18 degrees, but at least it's dry, a lot better than yesterday, and we can finally actually do a bit of riding. Yesterday we already got some feedback. I will break it down in two different sections: city riding and open roads. I will start with the city riding. In the city riding there are two main things that I got as feedback. One of them is when I face oncoming traffic, typically my position is towards the center of the road. And with oncoming traffic I don't change my position to the offside of the road to create additional space between me and the oncoming traffic, but I stick to the center of the road, actually giving myself less room to maneuver or less margin towards danger. So that is something I need to pay attention on and change. And the other thing that I also do quite a lot is when there are parked cars or obstacles, I tend to make a lot of space between me and the obstacle, but in the process I compromise, say, the space I have on the other side. So actually I should middle the two dangers or the two obstacles or the space on the road to give me a better position, not only towards the obstacle but also towards the rest. So that's the two things for city riding. On the open roads, already talked about it a little bit yesterday. One of the feedbacks I got is lazy riding. I'm not really zoning out, but I not always paying most of the attention, especially when there's a lot of traffic slowing me down. And I should be more active, more engaged in the bike all the time, because then I'm also more likely to make an overtake or take an opportunity when it arises, because I'm ready. And sometimes I'm a bit lazy, laid back in that respect. And the other thing is use of the rear brake. I tend to use the rear brake a lot, also deep into the corner. Well, actually not doing much. As the instructor said, rear brake is for control, low speed, and the front brake is actually to slow down. And what I compromise by using the rear brake quite a bit is, say, the setup in the corner. So what I do is I drag the rear brake quite deep into the corner, and then mid corner I get a change of load in the bike, causing imbalance in the bike. Well, actually I should be ready when I enter the corner, and with a little bit of gas keep the balance in the bike and also be better set up to accelerate out of the corner. So those are the two things to work on for open roads. There will be plenty more, but I will come back to that a little bit later. As you can probably see from the video, the riding pace is quite a bit higher than the usual cruise that we do. It's towards the upper end what I'm comfortable riding at, and actually some of the guys are actually quite a bit quicker in the group. It was one of the things that was also emphasized quite a bit: ride your own ride, take it or ride at your own pace. We will wait. The guys will wait a little bit later on if they drop you, so no worries about that. Because it's on the upper end of what I'm comfortable at, I have more focus on the riding itself. On top of that, it's a training, so I try out different things, try to implement the tips, for example focusing on not dragging the rear brake into the corner. That all takes quite a bit of focus, which means I have less brain capacity left for vlogging, and that's also what I see when I look back at the footage. I was a lot more quiet than I usually am, but that's fine. First of all, the roads that we are riding through are amazing. They're a good mix of technical small roads like you just see, and some wider roads like this that are a bit faster. So there's something for everybody, and riding was absolutely fit. What you also see in this clip is that I try to use more and more of the road, depending on what the circumstances are, and actually anticipate. And that is actually the point where you make most of the difference. Yes, all the guys in the group are very comfortable on the bike, are good riders, but you make most difference in actually recognizing situations faster and changing your line, your speed, your positioning based on that. And riding fast is not so much about how fast you dare to take a corner, but actually your capability of processing information at a higher rate of speed. And there's still quite a bit of work for me on that front. The initial setup was not far enough towards the outside of the corner, and I also didn't anticipate properly where you come cars and actually turned in a bit too early. This is, as you see, that I do a little bit better proper setup towards the outside of the corner. I see the oncoming car move over a little bit, made a bit additional space. Much better than the previous one, example. Now, one of the things I'm also working on is looking at a series of corners or bends instead of just riding a single corner, setting up for the next corner, riding that corner, setting up again. It's a lot more effective to look way further ahead and actually look not at a single corner but at a series of corners and how you can navigate them in the quickest way. And then you also have the opportunity to think ahead which corners you need to ride fully and which one you can cut short. The road is not always wide and open, so sometimes it's a lot more difficult to see where the corners are going or where the road is going. But there are also several tricks, like looking way further ahead, you know where the road is going to end up eventually. But there are also clues closer by, like tree lines, lamp posts, landmarks, oncoming traffic that can give you a clue where the road is going. And actually anticipating on these as well gives you gives you a head start or some additional information up front. And for me personally, these smaller technical roads are a lot of fun to ride. Don't get me wrong, I also like the really quick, fast sweeping bends that we had a little bit before. These small roads through the forest with views opening up every now and then. Not as quick as other roads, but really nice to ride these kind of roads. And as you see, the weather also cleared up quite a bit. I think now it's about 22 degrees, 24 degrees. Especially the afternoon will be a lot hotter as well. And the riding conditions were absolutely amazing. these technical roads, usually I build in a little bit more margin because yeah, they're relatively narrow roads, and that means that if you have oncoming traffic, there is not a lot of room to maneuver around. And in case oncoming traffic cuts a corner, you still want to have some room to maneuver around. Even though the sun is out, there are still quite a few damp spots in the shade, which means for those spots we need to be a bit careful. Line selection and riding lines, it's still work in progress. As you see here, actually setup is pretty decent for this corner, but I'm turning in way too early, and actually I should have turned in here, which means the exit of the corner is not that quick anymore, and also you compromise vision in the corner, which is not ideal. And these nice twisties, they are being altered by some amazing views like this one. Really nice. At this point I'm behind Taunus instructor, and you can actually see how much difference there is in riding lines. I mean, here he cuts in a lot quicker than I do, setting up to the next corner. Here again, going out to the next corner, cutting in, staying out quite far. Up ahead there is a side road for the car, so moves over. Compromise the corner, but okay. Compromise the corner for safety. It's really nice riding behind it because you can actually try to mirror his riding lines and see how that feels, what it gives you in terms of vision and say ease of riding, balance of the bike, and that was really useful. If you look at this series of hairpins, you actually see there's quite a lot of difference in terms of riding lines, where I say mostly towards the outside, don't turn in or cut into the corner to accelerate. He's actually mid-corner, cutting in and actually getting on the throttle a lot earlier than I do. Especially if you look at the next bench, you see the line that he and the instructor takes versus what we and the rest of the group do. The rest of we stay a lot further on the outside than they do, and that makes a huge difference in how quickly you can navigate these corners. In the next corner that you turn in, it's actually marked by a drain, and you see that they turn in around this drain, and I actually stay out, and it means that my corner is so much longer, and the line intake is a lot less efficient than what they do. After a while we changed around again, we had a feedback session. Actually, I'm now riding behind the instructor, sharing, okay, ride at your own pace, because he and the guy up front are quicker than I am. This piece of road was really nice. You can actually have a great vision, see where the road is going, see what's coming up, where all the crossings are. So really fun road to ride. Onto my position, move over, setting up for the corners that are coming up. As you see, the guys that are just pulling away from me. There are bikes that are quicker, but there are also quicker riders. You see cutting in, moving over to the outside of the next corner, moving over, cutting into the next corner. Great road also offered some great views like this one. But actually, I was a bit torn between the road versus the views. The riding was really good. As you can see here, trying to link up all the corners together rather than just riding one corner at a time. All the way on the outside. Staying out. Turning into the next one. Setting up for the next corner. Slightly move part to the middle. Moving over for the car. The riding was really nice. This continued for another 10 minutes. Towards the end of the day I started to get a bit tired, and that's also something you can see back in my riding. I'm not really preparing properly for the corners anymore. Bit too late turning into the corners, positioning is not that well anymore. But I still try to practice what we learned and what I got as a feedback. And some of the things I try to do is really link up all the various corners instead of riding just a single corner. But here you see it was a bit late turning in. Here the setup was too far to the middle, and okay, now I'm setting up properly for the next corner. A bit late on the throttle, but yeah, takes quite a bit of energy. I had a lot of fun today. Too late turning in again. No, I had a lot of fun, and I would really, if you've never done any sort of training, any training is of course very beneficial, but this was really fun. I really tried to be active on the bike, so proper feet position, being engaged with the bike, active in the gear changes, and that is something usually I just park the bike in third or fourth gear and toggle along all day. And that's simply not possible at this pace. It was a lot of fun, but it takes quite a bit of energy. So yeah, that's what you see back in my riding. Is a bit, I won't say laid back, but I don't have the energy anymore to ride really nice and tidy and actually implement everything that we've been talking about. But yeah, that's fine. I had fun. Really good training, good instructions. I learned a lot, and I will definitely do this again. If you enjoyed it, put 2 thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!